Hey guys, Helen here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my kitchen. So today I thought it would be fun to kind of go through a grocery haul with you guys and let you know kind of how we meal prep for the week. To be completely honest, some weeks are way better than other weeks. Sometimes we prep really well early on in the week and have everything planned out beforehand. Some days it's like grabbing takeout for dinners or Uber Eats or whatever. So by no means perfect, but this is kind of what like an average week looks like for us. I'll share breakfast, lunches, and dinner as well as snacks. So this is kind of our grocery haul for this week. And then I'm also going to have like a download available for you to actually make all of these recipes on your own. If you guys are interested in that, the link will be down in the info box. So go ahead and take a look at that and let's get going. Alright, so starting with breakfast. So some of the stuff is things that I bought this week. Some of it is stuff that we just have in our pantry that lasts for a really long time. So first off, I always have a cup of coffee in the morning, and the things that we order and have on hand all the time is going to be the MCT oil from Onnit. It is medium chain triglycerides. This one is the vanilla flavor, which is my personal favorite, and we have this stocked up all the time. Tyler loves Onnit, and so we have quite a few of their products, but this is the one that I personally use on a daily basis in my coffee. And then as well as the Vital Proteins collagen peptides. I'll switch off between their like unflavored one, and then sometimes I'll use their coffee creamer vanilla flavored, so I'll kind of go back and forth. But I really love Vital Proteins. I think honestly that's what's helped my hair so much in the past couple of years. And so I always put a scoop of this in my coffee, a tablespoon of the MCT oil. We have a Keurig, and I just use Keurig cups for my coffee, as well as half and half. So I always have half and half on hand. So what I personally do is I heat up the half and half in my cup before I put it under the Keurig, and I'll add the half and half, the MCT oil, and the collagen, and then I use this Bean Envy frother, which is a game changer. My mother-in-law put it in our stockings this year, and I am obsessed with it. It seriously makes coffee seem like I'm drinking a latte every morning. So I froth everything up, and then I stick it under the Keurig, and the coffee goes into it, and then I just kind of stir it up afterwards, and it honestly tastes like a latte in my opinion. So that's what I start with, as well as, especially now that I'm breastfeeding, I eat oats every morning. I've noticed that it does help with my milk supply, and so I've been using the Bob's Red Milk. It's the ones that I go for. So this week what we're going to do is a no oats oatmeal, and then Tyler's not going to add the oats to it, and I'll add oats to it. We do a lot of like keto meals, but now that I'm breastfeeding, I'm not as strict on my diet, and I eat a lot more carbs just because I've noticed that helps my milk supply, and I don't want to like diminish anything like that based on the diet. So what the no oats oatmeal is we're gonna put almonds and walnuts into the food processor. What we do is like grind them up really thin and then put them on the stove top and add some almond milk to it. I also like to put cinnamon and then sometimes like peanut butter or almond butter. So I personally have been doing peanut butter a lot the last few weeks in my oats, and then so what we'll do is make the no oats oatmeal, and then in mine I'll add the oats as well, and peanut butter like I said, and then berries. So this week we went with blueberries and raspberries. We kind of decide berries based on how they look in the store. Honestly, I don't really have a big preference. So that is one of the breakfasts that we'll do a couple days this week. We kind of like to mix it up days, you know, every other day or so. So the other thing that we got for this week is hash browns. We have the Cascadia Farm organic ones. These are great. You keep them in the freezer, and then when you're ready to make them, they just take, you know, 10-15 minutes on the stove top to heat up. I like them really crispy, so we make them really crispy. And then we have eggs. We'll go between making over easy eggs or scrambled eggs. Something that we have on hand often is fresh guacamole and salsa. So what we'll do with this is I like to mix it in either with my eggs or the hash browns sometimes, and maybe even place a couple of veggies on there. But those are some of the things that we have for breakfast ready to go. So just to recap really quick, coffee every morning with my Vital Proteins and MCT oil from Onnit, then oatmeal on some days. Lately I've been doing like oatmeal and eggs and hash browns just to really get a lot of good food in the morning. So I'll do oatmeal earlier in the morning and then eggs a little bit later. And then we also have the hash browns, eggs, and the no oats oatmeal. So that's kind of what we have planned for this week for breakfast. All right, moving on to snacks and lunches. So to be honest, a lot of our lunches end up being leftovers from dinners. So once we get into the dinner recipes, I'll kind of share which ones we'll probably have a lot of leftovers from and that we'll use for lunches. Keep in mind it's only 2 of us adults, so we make things in like bigger portions and then we use them for dinner the next day oftentimes, as well as lunches for a couple days even sometimes. But I do like to have a couple of things on hand to mix it up with lunches. And one of the recipes that I'm doing this week that I thought was really fun is bell pepper sandwiches. So rather than having bread as like the main part of a sandwich, we're gonna take the bell pepper and wash it, clean it out, cut it in half on like only 3/4 of the sides of it, and then stick in some typical like sandwich items. So some of those things that I got for those sandwiches, I keep saying I got, but my husband actually was one that did all of the grocery shopping. I stay home a lot more these days with the baby, so it's really helpful that he can swing by the grocery store and pick up all of this stuff. So we have just deli ham that can go into the sandwiches, as well as a block of cheese. This block of cheese also I use to snack on, and I'll explain that in a second. But we have ham, cheddar, avocado, tomatoes, and I think that's it. I have mustard in the fridge that I'll probably put on with it as well. But those would be, and romaine lettuce you can like toss in there, or any sort of lettuce, but you can toss that in there as well. So you use the bell pepper as like the bread part of the sandwich, and then just fill it with all sorts of things. So that's kind of my lunch idea for the week. So any days that I don't feel like having leftovers, I will make a little bell pepper sandwich and have that for my lunch. Snacks are key for me. I feel like I'm eating throughout the entire day all the time these days, especially just with breastfeeding. You end up burning more calories. I feel like I'm hungry all the time, and I've noticed if I don't eat, that's like when I get more emotional and things just seem way worse than they are throughout the day, just being completely honest here. So I try to just have snacks on hand all the time, so it's easy for me to eat something throughout the day. So for snacks, like I said, I like to use the cheese, and then Good Thins rice crackers are awesome. I love, this is like the plain Simply Salt one. I also love the salt and pepper one. They have a couple other flavors that I love, and so Good Thins are one of my go-tos for sure with some cheese. I also love to have this with like white wine, either while I'm cooking or while like watching TV and while dinner's in the oven or whatever it might be. So that's always a really good snack to have as well. So we also have apples that I will slice up and eat with peanut butter. My go-to peanut butter is always the Justin's one. We also alternate between having almond butter. Sometimes when we go to Costco, we'll get like the big Kirkland jar of almond butter. So apples and peanut butter or almond butter is a really big go-to for me just to snack on. And then this time around, Tanner picked up some yogurt pretzels because he knows that I love these. So these are always a really good snack. And then dried fruit is always a go-to as well. And we have pineapple rings this week for dried fruit. So those are a lot of our snack options. Oh, the other thing chips and salsa is always a good one. Like I said before, for breakfast, we like to have guac and salsa, fresh salsa from the store. So tortilla chips to have these on hand and just to snack on either before dinner or between meals is a great snack. These ones are the RW Garcia ones, and they have like pretty good ingredients: yellow corn, blue corn, sunflower oil, sea salt, water, and a trace of lime. So nothing like horrible really in them. So that's a good brand for tortilla chips if you guys like to have tortilla chips and salsa. So those are, I believe those are all of our snacks and lunch ideas for this week. So pretty simple, nothing extraordinary, but my biggest thing is I just need to have food available at all times. So those are some of my ideas there. Okay, lastly, we will go through dinner recipes. I have 3 recipes for this week. Like I said before, what I typically do is we'll make dinner one night and then save leftovers for dinner the next day, so that way we're not having to cook every single night. It's really convenient, especially if you have a newborn. So first off, we have zucchini noodles and beef pasta sauce. So we have zucchini, we have a spiralizer that we use to make the noodles out of, and then we'll saute the zucchini noodles over the stove top in a pan. And then we have grass-fed beef in our deep freezer, so we'll use ground beef and pasta sauce. So this one is an avocado oil marinara, and we'll put this on the stove top with the beef and cook it all together, and then combine it with the zucchini noodles. I personally like to add mushrooms into it as well, so I just have a few mushrooms there that I'll slice up and then saute and toss into my bowl. And we have garlic just to mince into the seasonings and stuff, and use like salt and pepper, and it's pretty simple, and that's basically all we do for that recipe. So that one's a really quick, easy, simple recipe. It really doesn't take long at all, and it always provides us with some leftovers for the next day. And then sometimes what we'll do is make the zucchini noodles fresh every day, but the pasta sauce with the beef you can put in the fridge and then heat up for the next day. The zucchini noodles do taste a lot better when they're like made day of versus being in the fridge and then like trying to reheat them. So just a tip for that there. The next recipe we have is a loaded potato soup. So for that one, we have the gold potatoes that we'll dice up and cook in with, so basically what you first do is put in the garlic and then onion and saute them, and then add in chicken. So we're going to do a chicken in there as well. So we have chicken breasts here. So these are frozen ones, so we'll thaw them out and then put them in there as we go, but that'll be
Babe, I think that there's no meat in that.
Yeah, there isn't any meat in that one. So crop that and start over. Dinners are hard off. No, it is, it's bacon that's in there.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Okay, the next one is a loaded potato soup. So we have the gold potatoes that we'll cube up and put in there, as well as bacon to dice up and put in there as well, and then half a yellow onion. The other half of the yellow onion will be used in the next dinner recipe, which is always super helpful. If you guys like cook with onions and stuff, you typically don't always use a whole one, so it's nice to have a few recipes that use them, so that way you're not wasting ingredients. But so half a yellow onion, and then also green onion goes in there, and I'll use some of that garlic as well as chicken stock. So those are the main recipes in that potato soup. It'll make a pretty big pot of it, so that'll be a really easy one to have and then heat up for future days. And then we love salad kits. So these ones that you can just like throw in a bowl, combine all the ingredients, put in the dressing that's provided and eat is like such a time saver rather than buying all the ingredients separately, which we'll do sometimes as well, but we definitely these days are loving salad kits. So we'll make a salad on the side with that potato soup. And this one specifically is a kale chopped kit. It has Brussels sprouts, kale, Parmesan, and then a lemon garlic vinaigrette. They also provide croutons in there. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. Lately we haven't been, and that it tastes just as great without them. So that is the next dinner recipe. And then lastly, this is gonna be a new one that I haven't tried yet, but I'm really excited about trying because I've been like super into kind of more like Thai food, peanut sauce, that kind of stuff lately. And so this one is a chicken cashew quinoa bake. I found the recipe on Pinterest and tweaked it just a little bit to make it a little healthier, and I threw in a few extra veggies as well. So with this one, basically what you do, we always have the big bag of quinoa from Costco. This one's a pretty new bag. You can tell it's pretty full, but we do go through that fairly often. I'll sometimes even use quinoa in place of oats for like oatmeal. And so this time what we're doing with the quinoa is you put it at the bottom of the pan, and then you layer chicken. So we have chicken breasts. We typically get chicken breasts that we put in the freezer and then take them out and thaw during the afternoon and then cook them for dinner. It's just easier that way rather than trying to like buy fresh or like refrigerated chicken breasts all the time. So that's how we always do it. But we'll layer the chicken breast, some bell pepper, which I showed you guys earlier, and then broccoli, cutting everything into like bite-sized pieces, as well as the other half of the yellow onion, and then garlic. So what you do is layer the quinoa, and then you put in all of those veggies and the chicken. The chicken is also cubed up into bite-sized pieces. And then you make a sauce, and the sauce uses hoisin sauce as well as soy sauce and a couple of different seasonings. Like I said, I'll have the recipe for you guys in the downloadable link. But basically what you do is make a big sauce. You add like a cup of water into it as well. So then you pour it all over those ingredients in your baking dish and then stick it in the oven for like about an hour. And then towards the end of that hour, you add in cashews on top, as well as top it off with green onions. And so basically it's all just like one big bake. So this is another recipe that's gonna last us for a couple of days, which is really convenient. And I'm excited to try that one. So I'll let you guys know how I like it. But those are all of the recipes for this week. As you can see, a lot of it is like fresh ingredients that we get for the week. And then we also have our handful of things like the MCT oil, the vital proteins, the frozen chicken breasts, the quinoa, a lot of the nuts and stuff are all things that we kind of have just all the time, and so it lasts quite a bit of time. So if you are doing like one big grocery haul and getting a bunch of new stuff, it's obviously going to be a little more expensive than if you already have a lot of the stuff available in your pantry or in your fridge. So I always recommend to like slowly add new things into your kitchen, you know, just to be like budget friendly. You can like slowly add things in, and then you'll have a lot of things to pull from when you want to try out new recipes. So that is our weekly grocery haul, and that is with a newborn too. So these are going to be the recipes. We have like a just barely 4-week-old baby, and so these recipes are going to be really easy and simple for us to make on a few days this week. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to download the recipes down below. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And let me know what you guys think of these recipes. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps you kind of plan your week of meals and give you some new ideas for healthy meals for you and your family.